I had an author on a few episodes ago, and I asked her the same question, that the author's process is also that, because you also write and she also writes, right? So how do you actually know when a piece of work is good enough to put out there? That, okay, I've got it to a point that yes, I can put it out. It might not be perfect. I don't think it's perfect, but I need to put it out. So she also said that she realized it's something that she has to live with. That self-critique, that inner voice that keeps telling her that, okay, you can do better, or maybe this thing, you could do things in a certain different way.
Yeah.
She says that is a voice that I have learned to live with. And she says that I've also learned to harness it, because that is kind of your compass. It tells you where to go.
It is. Your internal compass will always tell you where to go. But everyone is different, right? I'm a terrible editor.
Okay.
I fall in love with my work and then I refuse to edit it or cut it because it's important to me. It's all important to me.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, cut out the noise. And I'm like, no, it's all important.
That's the best bit.
The amount of times that I've had to fight for lines in my shows. I'm like, no, this one will stay. And then as time goes on and the story progresses, you realize that someone else was right. And they're like, yeah, I guess it doesn't serve the story. But you have to come to that point by yourself. Nice. But it is always an external stimuli that will
push you,
slightly guide you, right? And that's why you have people like editors and dramaturgs and music supervisors and MDs and who tell you, hey, this doesn't work.
One thing I really wanted to find out is, like I said, the business side of it. So with Blacklisted, okay, at what point did you actually get an idea that, okay, this experience of mine, what I've lived through, like 100 people live through the same thing, right?
Yeah.
How did you get the inspiration to actually make something out of it, and then go through the effort of turning it into like a cabaret?
I guess that it was interesting, right? All of the visa rejections that I have gone through, I never really gave it enough thought. I was like, whatever. They obviously hurt. But there was a friend of mine who I was telling, we were talking in a group, and they're like, cabaret? And I was like, no. And so I completely shoved it to the side, right? And then I was working on my Australian visas and stuff, and I have a lawyer here, and he was just like, and I was telling him about the story about Canada and stuff, and he's like, well, you hold a unique passport. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that. And then my best friend's wedding was happening, and that visa got rejected. And that was just the nail in the coffin, truly. And I was like, this is really annoying, and I'm really frustrated. And then COVID hit. 2019 was the last rejection that I faced, and 2020 was just for me to write things, and I remember I took a cabaret class online. A lady called Alexis Fishman, she's now in New York. She was just running a workshop online, and I was just like, I have nothing better to do. And I don't know what came over me. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the conversations were happening. I don't remember any of it, but I just remember sitting in that workshop and everyone's just kind of going around trying to talk about their cabarets. And I was just like, maybe I should just throw this idea out into the universe. And she immediately latched onto it.
Okay.
And everyone in that group, I genuinely threw it out as a joke. I'm not going to lie. I genuinely just went, haha, this. Which is how half my stuff happens, by the way. I make a joke about it, and everyone's just like, no, that is interesting to me.
Yeah.
And so after that, after that session, we did a lesson together and we did a cabaret writing session together. And she's like, I want to see you write this story.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, sure. I think that I had written Blacklisted, the title song, before I actually wrote the show.
Because that is what captures the essence of what you were trying to
Yeah,
say.
and I think I wrote Blacklisted literally after that visa rejection, after my American one, right? My best friend's. And I just wrote the song because I wanted to write a song.
Yeah, but so that song was like completely separate from the cabaret itself. It had nothing to do with it. It was just you expressing how you felt. Yeah,
Pretty
wow.
much.
Yeah, and
Pretty
then the
much.
cabaret was built around it.
Yeah. And then I went back and I was like, oh, this song. That's where the title came from.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, cool, great. So that happened, and then she wanted to direct the piece. And she made a formal offer to direct the piece. She's like, I want to see you write this show, and I'll work with you, and let's get this show going.
Amazing.
And I was like, cool.
How-
And so I literally, I was looking at, and I love doing this, I was looking at the very first draft of Blacklisted.
Yeah.
And all I had was one paragraph and 2 title songs. Both of which did not even make the show. So
Okay. Right.
yeah, the amount of songs that I had to cut and add and cut.
Yeah.
It was a very, very beautiful process. So I started with that, and then I started writing the story, and we developed the story, and a lot of it was fluff. And then I was like, okay, I need to start developing the music, because I would write dialogue, and then I would write monologues, and then I would write the lyrics to songs, and one thing
That's
after
the
the other.
process.
Yeah. And then we played a little bit of Tetris of what song goes where. And then I was like, okay, cool. I need to now find someone who will help me with the music, put it together, find a music director.
Yep.
And so I reached out to a bajillion people. Obviously, it was unpaid because I had no money. I didn't know where this show was going. I literally had nothing planned for this show, right? And I was just kind of like, okay, don't have anything. Here we are doing the thing. And so someone suggested my music, then who became my music director, Tim Cuniff. And I took a class with him, and I was like, look, I have a show. I'd love for you to MD it. I literally have 3 songs, no money, nothing to pay you for now. I don't have producers. I don't know where this show's going to go.
Will you come on board?
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, here's the story. We can play through the song and you can decide. We can play through all the music that I have currently.
Yep.
And you can take your time. I'm in no rush of you giving me an answer. And you can let me know whenever you want.
Yep.
We played through Blacklisted, the title song. And he's like, cool, I'm in. And that was just a great feeling. I absolutely love and adore Tim. He's really just kind of brought this show together, and he did all of the arrangements and stuff.
Which were very beautifully done. I have
Thank
to add.
you.
Like as a spectator, one thing that really stood out for me from the show was the music in itself. Like the music was a whole different thing. Like apart from the show and the story itself, the music itself was something that you could take apart and admire.